My name is Zavier Deegan. I go to Full Sail University, and I'm a writer. I've always wanted to write ever since I was in like 5th grade. I've always written stories. I would like flip-flop between things I wanted to do, and eventually towards the end of 12th grade, I just stuck with writing, and it's just been that way since. I like writing romance and comedy a lot, just because that's where most of my life's been at. I deal with being alone a lot, lonesomeness, wandering a lot is another theme, trying to figure out who you are, and hope through the world is another one. I take a lot of everything I write from real life, of course. It's very personal, and so to dig deep into who I am, it's kind of hard. But as I write, it starts coming out. But I write very straightforward, and I don't see the message that I'm writing until I read it afterwards. And it's usually a lot darker, but through the darkness shines a light somehow. Well, thankfully for Full Sail, everything is writing, so it goes hand in hand. My homework is writing. It's not finding the time to write. Lack of motivation is the biggest thing. Giving myself the time. Like, I can write whenever I want, but for some reason I'm just unmotivated, and when I do write, I sometimes don't like what I'm writing, and I scratch it all together, or I just leave it out to never touch it again. If I can't think of anything, I like going outside, or to listen to music is another big help. Usually, I take something that happens in the day, and I can turn that into stories. I take more inspiration from TV. Being a writer, I should read more, so I don't have enough books in my catalog that I could say are influenced, but a lot of TV inspires me, and music a lot too. My favorite piece of work, probably the story I wrote about my dad. It's a story that I matched together about baseball, and when he would take me to Waffle House after every game, and I would be in the gym thinking about it over and over again before I even touched the keyboard, and it made me tear up just thinking about it because it's such a happy memory. But that's probably my favorite one. I'm working on this one book idea about this painter who's going through a loss of his mom, and it's the anniversary of her death, and he has to move to France, and he ends up falling in love with this girl, but it turns out to be a ghost. When I come up with a story, it really depends on what part of the story I think of first. Sometimes I can think of the beginning, and then it's like, ooh, how do I want this to end? Or if I think of something that happens, it's like, oh, I can work around this, and maybe this is the middle, or maybe that's the end. So it's really whatever comes first, and then I kind of roll with it. My process getting my work published, that was done through a class I had up in week 4, I believe. And at first, we just wrote these flash fictions, which is just a story under 1,000 words. We had to send them in to different publishing companies. And it wasn't for a while, it was months later, I forgot about it. And I woke up and I got this email that says, your work has been submitted, and I was like, what? And it was this flash fiction. I was like, which one is it? I completely forgot too. And so I was like, the mystery of not knowing which one got published, but I was still I was ecstatic when I woke up. That was the first thing I was thinking about. I was like, I'm out there. My name's for real out there. It was kind of making me cry, so I had to call my family. And I was telling everybody, and they were like, tell us which magazine it is, tell us the issue, we're gonna buy everything. I was like, you don't have to do that, but still seeing it out there was an amazing moment. One of the best days of my life. There are a lot of ideas that I have that I wish I could work on, but just get scrapped. The project that I was working on that I ended up scrapping was this book idea that was during a hard time in my life. I was working on that for a long time. I had the whole story planned out. I had everything going. And then one day it was just like, I'm done with it. And then I scrapped it. When I was a couple chapters in too. I was 4 chapters in, and then I was like, I don't think I want to work on this anymore. I choose not to have limits on myself. I like writing whatever I want. Whatever makes me happy, or whatever I get a laugh at, or I'm just like, oh, this is kind of dark. That's the beauty about writing. It can be anything, and it's because it's fictional. My plan for the future, I hope to be an author who has a section of books in like people's catalogs, or like, oh, this is where he goes. It's like specifically my books. One piece of advice you're gonna hear, but to write is truly what you need. It's just sitting down and getting it done, and don't stop until you see results. Even then, you still shouldn't stop. It's gonna be a hard task, but it's plausible. Anybody can write. It just takes the determination and the commitment. I wish everybody out there who wants to be a writer that you got it, and I believe in you, and that you should follow your dreams for anything. Even if nobody believes in you, you should believe in yourself, most importantly. Do it for you.